Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, murals in a half shell, turtle power. Here we go. Here it is. The Ninja Turtle Magic Commander Deck. And if you look right here, we have Heroes in a Half Shell. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. Really hit. Dude, that cartoon as a kid, loved it. Like seriously, my pajamas were Ninja Turtles, my bed sheets Ninja Turtles. I mean, just everything was Ninja Turtles when I was younger. So let's go ahead and nerd out. See what we got here. This was my favorite toy. I know it's just paper money, but this was my favorite as a kid. I would never go anywhere without this. The Ninja Turtle money, so awesome. Got the itty bitties, itty bitty pops. Those are pretty sweet. And then you got the medals. I love the metal figures. You know, these are like keychains. And then you got a die. Yeah. A very baby. Alright, let me put this stuff back real quick. Okay. Alright. So I hope you guys are doing well. Let's get into this. So whenever one or more mutants, ninjas, and or turtles you control deal combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures and draw a card. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got first. First up, Birds of Paradise. No surprise there. I mean, 5-color deck. You gotta be able to be able to cast some spells, you know what I'm saying? We got Leonardo, leader in blue. So when he enters, if his sneak cost was paid, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn, and you can pay 1 and a white and give him first strike. So the way sneak works is if you return a creature to your hand uh, during your combat, you can cast it for its sneak ability. But Leonardo's my favorite, so gotta throw him in there. We got Metallic Mimic. So as it enters, choose creature type. Okay, so I could choose Ninja or Turtles. Uh, it will be that type as it enters, and then each other creature control of the chosen type enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. Just gotta get them counters going. Leonardo Cutting Edge. A 1/1 lifelink. And whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Leonardo. There, baby. We have Dark Leo and Shredder. So it's got a sneak ability. Attacking ninjas you control have Death Touch. Okay. And whenever Dark Leo and Shredder deal combat damage to a player, you create a black ninja creature token. And if you control 5 or more ninjas, that player loses half their life. Rounded up. Mikey and Leo, Chaos and Order. Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds. I mean, you better hurry it up. Whenever you put a counter on a creature you control, draw a card. Trigger it only once each turn. Michelangelo the Heart. A 2/1 trample. Raid the Fridge. At the beginning of your second main phase, if you attack this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and create a food token. Ninja Pizza. Ninja Pizza? Pizza that vanished quickly without trace at all. Here we have Michelangelo, Weirdness to 11. Alright, when Michelangelo enters, create a mutagen token. If one or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a creature you control, that many plus an additional +1/+1 counter are put on it instead. Okay. Splinter the Mentor. Whenever Splinter or another non-token creature you control leaves the battlefield, you create a mutagen token. I have to get one of those over here. Yeah. Let me get one out. So a mutagen token it's an artifact. You can pay one, tap, sacrifice it, and you can put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. So this deck's all about putting counters on, beefing the turtles up. Turtle Van. So whenever this vehicle attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that crewed it. Then if that creature is a mutant, ninja, or turtle, double the number of counters on it. So that's pretty cool. Toka and Raza. Unsupervised. So here we do not have a turtle for this turtle deck. Well, actually it says right here turtle. Wolf Mutant. Whenever another non-token creature you control leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Toka and Razor and create a treasure token. Keep those counters coming. Donatello the Brains. Alright. Let's see if we can get him to. There we go. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a mutagen token are created instead. Donatello Gadget Master. Let's see. So I don't know if that light's bugging you guys or what. So he's whenever he deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control. Raph and Leo sibling rivals. So whenever it attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap up to one or two target attacking creatures, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Splinter Radical Rat. If an ability of a ninja creature you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. And you can pay 1 in a blue. Target ninja can't be blocked this turn. Leonardo the Balance. Whenever a token you control enters, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Do this only once each turn. You pay 1 mana of each color. Creatures you control gain menace, trample, lifelink until end of turn. Nice. Here we have Leonardo Sewer Samurai. A 3/3 double strike. During your turn, you may cast creature spells with power or toughness 1 or less from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, that creature enters with a finality counter in it. So, going back from the graveyard, 1 final time. Michelangelo Improviser. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card and or a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. That's stupid. Alright, here we got Raphael the Night Watcher. Attacking creatures you control have double strike. Sakashima's Student. Ninjutsu for 2. And you may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it's a ninja in addition to its other types. Ingenious Infiltrator. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this is a non-turtle. I'm kind of iffy, but most of the turtles are ninjas, so I thought, why not? Maybe a decent card, engine for drawing. Mikey and Don Party Planners. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Oh man. There we go. You may play lands and cast mutant, ninja, or turtle spells from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, that creature enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Raphael the Muscle. Double all damage that creatures you control with counters on them would deal. When Raphael enters, create a mutagen token. Raph's like, we're gonna double damage. Alright, here we got Higuri, the Stillwind. It's got ninjutsu for 2 and 2 blue. Whenever Shredder deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a ninja card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Pay 2, target ninja creature can't be blocked this turn. Alright, thanks, Shredder. I got Don and Leo Problem Solvers. So we can flicker some things and just exile it and bring it back. Exile up to 1 target artifact you control and up to 1 target creature you control. So if you get any ETB abilities to trigger, with the counters. I don't know. Maybe. Splinter, Vengeful Sensei, otherwise known as Ink Eyes. Ninjutsu for 3 and 2 black, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may put target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Oh, and you can pay 1 and a black and regenerate him. Donatello, Rad Scientist. When Donatello enters, tap up to 3 target creatures your opponents control and put a stun counter on each of them. So, hey, they're not going to untap during your next untap step. Remove a stun counter from it instead. So that would be a good one to, ping in and out. And then there was, I think, that Raft card was one that when he entered, you create a mutagen type. Yeah, so pinging them. We got some triggered abilities going down. Raphael, Tag Team Tough. A 5/6 menace. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player for the first time each turn, untap all attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Have that a baby. Hey, Mike, you think you could crunch anything louder? I can still hear out of this one. Sheesh. Michelangelo on the scene? 2/2 trample. He enters with a +1/+1 counter for each land you control. And when he dies, return this card to your hand. Raph and Mikey Troublemakers. A 7/7 trample haste. And you gotta love this. Whenever Raph and Mikey attack, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Just toss it onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. That's all. So with those extra added attack phases, we can attack again. Oh, just here's a creature, here's another creature. Leonardo, Worldly Warrior. So it costs 1 less to cast for each creature I control. And it's a 5/5 double strike. So if you got say you got 5 creatures out, you're just gonna pay 3 and you got a 5/5 double striker. Good old Leo. Alright, and that's gonna do it for the creatures. And for artifacts, we've got the Soul Ring, nice pizza there. Donnie's Bow. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink, and you can pay 1 and permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Alright, we got a Arcane Sigs. Surge Foil. Nice. Yeah, I forget about those from the cartoon. How they communicated. Ronin's Arsenal. A creature gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. So if you got 5 colors, it gets +5/+5. And as long as this equipment is attached to a creature you control, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. So, hey, we're going to combat. It's my turn. It's equipped to a creature. Hey, you guys can't cast any spells, okay? So, yeah. Disenchant. Oh, see face. Yeah. Whatever. Patchwork Banner. Choose a creature type. So, turtles. They get +1/+1 and add 1 mana of any color. Chromatic Lantern. Lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Jamil, the Inner Sun. Hey, spells you control can't be countered. And at the beginning of your end step, discover 5. So you can exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with mana value 5 or less, and just cast it without paying its mana cost. Or put it into your hand. That's nice. Leader's Talent. When you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. And if you pay 3 here to give it level 2, whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had a counter on it, you gain 2 life. And then if you can pay 4, level 3, whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So, I think if you pay the levels, you'll have all these abilities, whenever they trigger. That's nice. We have Sylvan Library, because you gotta get to the right cards fast, and someone will just naturalize. Happens all the time. High score. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a creature you control, that many +1 +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. And at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield. We have Total Power. So a flash. So you can play this as an instant. Turtles you control get +2/+2. Rhythm of the Wild. Creature spells you control can't be countered, and non-token creatures you control have Riot. So they either enter with haste or your choice of a +1/+1 counter. Trouble in Pairs. If an opponent would begin an extra turn, skip it instead. Whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card each turn, or casts their second spell each turn, you draw a card. Yes. Alright, we have Doubling Season. So, double your counters and double tokens. All will be one. Now, with all the counters that you'll be putting on, hopefully, on your turtles in this deck, whenever you put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, this enchantment deals that much damage to target opponent, creature, or an opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. So, say you put 10 counters on your creatures during the turn. You're gonna you got 10 creatures and you put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. 10 damage. Wherever you want. Cowabunga! Parastrika? Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can reveal a mutant, ninja, turtle, or land card. Put it into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Just a cool way to get stuff a little quicker. Kind of like a brainstorm, but not instant speed. And we have Demonic Tutor. I mean, you gotta have Demonic Tutor. Come on. Cultivate. You'll get 2 basic lands. Put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Leonardo's Technique. Return 1 or 2 target creature cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, some graveyard return there. Splinter's Technique. Search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. And you can play it for its sneak. So you can Demonic Tutor if you ninjutsu a creature or whatever, return a creature to your hand during your combat. New Generations Technique. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Alright. Wave Goodbye. Return each creature without a +1/+1 counter on it to its owner's hand. Hey, I got counters on my creatures. Do you guys have count? Oh, you don't? Oh. Hey, put it right back in your hand. Thanks. Yeah. Counter spell? Oh. Okay, cool. It's gonna happen. It's bound to happen. But, hopefully I got my artifact out there. Yeah. Suppose you control can't be countered. Hopefully I got something to help. Turtles in Time. Return all creatures to their owner's hands. Each player may shuffle their hand and graveyard into the library. Then each player who does draws 7 cards. And then you exile this card. Blasphemous Act. Costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. And it deals 13 damage to each creature. Vanquish the Horde. So this one costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield as well. Destroy all creatures. Looks like April O'Neil's running. Yeah, Mikey. The foot. Love the artwork. Alright, here we have from Strixhaven a Swords to Plowshares. I put this in there just because of the samurai artwork. So there's a Swords to Plowshares. It exiles target creature. And then they gain whatever the controller of the creature will gain life equal to its, what is it? Its power or its toughness? I don't know. I can't read Japanese. I think it's power, but I'm not sure. Path to Exile. Exile target creature. Its controller may search the library for a basic land card. and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Brainstorm. Sensei Splinter. Draw 3 cards. Put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Negate. Counter target non-creature spell. We have Cyclonic Rift. We got Hope from the Final Fantasy set. It's going to help the turtles out. Assassin's Trophy. Destroy target permanent. An opponent controls, and its controller may search the library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Turtles Forever. Search your library and or outside the game for exactly 4 legendary creature cards you own with different names, then reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of them. Put the chosen cards into your hand and shuffle the rest into your library. So, your sideboard, go get 4 legendary creatures, put 2 of them in your hand, and shuffle 2 of them in your deck. So that's it for the spells. And for lands, we got Command Tower. Back in the 80s, Channel 6 built their headquarters at the corner of Spectacle and Scandal. Path of Ancestry. So, when it enters, choose a turtle. And you can scry 1 whenever you cast a turtle spell. Exotic Orchard. Yo, Rock, check that out. A mutant music club? Bebop. You gotta get that bebop in there. In Rocksteady, we got City of Brass. Whenever it becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. Turtle Lair. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend it only to cast a ninja or turtle spell, and you can pay 3 and tap. Target ninja or turtle can't be blocked this turn. We've got the Grand Coliseum. It enters tap, and you can tap for a colorless or add 1 mana of any color, and it will deal 1 damage to you. Hidden Hideout. Yes, baby. I watch shows. Yeah. So you can add 1 mana of any color in your commander color's identity, and you can pay 2 tap. Target creature you control with a counter on it gains lifelink until end of turn. Well, I mean, hopefully we've got a creature with counters on it. Big Apple, 3 a.m. So this land enters tapped. You choose a color. Add 1 mana of the chosen color. And you can pay 5 tap and create a 1/1 black rat creature token for each opponent you have. Fabled Passage. You can tap and sack it to go get a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. And shuffle your library. Gemstone Mine. So it enters with 3 mining counters on it. And whenever all the mining counters are removed, you sacrifice it. Cavern of Souls. Choose a creature type. Okay, I'll choose Turtle. Tap add a colorless. Tap add 1 mana of any color. Spend that mana to cast a creature spell of the chosen type, and that spell can't be countered. Reflecting Pool. Add 1 mana of any type that a land you control could produce. Forbidden Orchard. Add 1 mana of any color, and when you tap it for mana, target opponent creates a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Mana Confluence. Pay 1 life. Add 1 mana of any color. Cascading Cataracts. Indestructible. You can tap add a colorless and you can pay 5. Tap and add 5 mana of any combination of colors to your mana pool. We have Windswept Heath. Search your library for a Plains card or a Forest card. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle. We have Arid Mesa. We're going to fetch a Mountain or a Plains card at the cost of 1 life. Verdant Catacombs. So here we're going to get a Swamp card or a Forest card. Marsh Flats. And you're going to go look for a Plains or a Swamp card. So 4 fetch lands there. And then we have the Tricolor Cycle lands. Swamp, Mountain, Forest. So hopefully those fetch lands, I'll be getting one of these. Yes, they come into play tapped, but in a 5-color deck, you got to make sure you have the right colors to play your stuff. So this is the best I can do. So we got Zitora's Proving Ground, Jetmir's Garden, Xander's Lounge, and I always like the not only just the that it has the island type or the land type on it, but the cycling ability. You never know in a commander game, late in the game, you need a cycle, draw a card. You know, who knows, maybe you draw the counter you need, or, you know, that one card that saves you. Rafine's Tower. Spara's Headquarters. Ketria Triumph. Zagoth Triumph. Rogren Triumph. Endatha Triumph. Savai Triumph. And I believe we've got Undergrowth Stadium. So it enters tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. So usually you have 2 or more opponents when you play Commander, but not always. Northampton Farm. You can pay 1 tap, exile target creature you own. So like if somebody steals your creature and they control it and they want to attack you with it, hey, I'm going to exile. I own that creature, so exile it. Then you can pay 2 tap, sacrifice this land, and return a creature card exiled with this land to the battlefield under your control. Return each other card exiled with this land to its owner's hand. So that's pretty cool. So I'll give me my creature back. And we have a Plains. Turtles are making sure they don't get noticed. We got a swamp. We have a mountain, forest, and a island. And that's it for the Heroes in a Half Shell Commander Deck. You know, it's be a fun deck to play. I mean, I wouldn't consider this meta at all. It's just counters and, you know, really cool just to put Ninja Turtles out there. I never thought the day would come that Magic would have Ninja Turtle cards. So it's so awesome. And I appreciate you guys watching as always. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share it with your Magic buddies. Any tips you'd like to offer me in the comments, I'm all ears. But until next time, I hope you guys are well and take care of yourselves. And we'll be back with another Commander Deck video soon. I think I am doing next a all mono black demon deck. So I'll be looking forward to showing you guys that. But till then, you guys have a good one. I'll see you then.